Why some thoughts come with color or taste. A mystical look into synesthesia, energetic memory, and the secret senses of the subtle body. Opening transmission. Not all thoughts arrive the same way. Some whisper in words. Some come as flashes of shape or rhythm. But some thoughts come with a strange sensation. A burst of color that has no visual source, a taste on the tongue without food, a sound that arises with no vibration. You may think you're imagining it, that this strange overlay is random. But what if it isn't? What if your consciousness is multi-sensory by nature? What if your inner experience includes dimensions that do not belong only to sight or sound? In this sacred transmission, we explore why some thoughts come with color or taste, why names make your chest feel red, why memories make your mouth tingle with cinnamon, why a word can flash as indigo, or a concept arrive like salt. This is not dysfunction, it is perception beyond the ordinary channels, and you are not broken for sensing more. You are remembering how thought becomes energy, and how energy expresses itself through the subtle senses. 1. Your mind is not just mental. We often treat the mind as a machine for language, a place for logic, analysis, inner talking. But the deeper layers of mind are not bound by language. They function in sensation, image, archetype, pattern. Thought is not just a stream of words. It is a current of energy that ripples through the field of your being. When you say you had a gut feeling, you are not being poetic. You are describing an actual energetic impact of thought on your body. The same is true of color and taste. Your body-mind system is always translating vibration into form, and depending on your subtle wiring, some of those forms arrive as sensory metaphors. But they are not symbolic to you. They are real, felt, and alive. 2. What is synesthesia really? In modern science, synesthesia is defined as a condition in which stimulation of one sensory pathway leads to automatic experiences in another. Someone hears a musical note and sees green. Someone reads a number and tastes chocolate. Someone thinks of Tuesday and feels it rotate to the left. But is this really a condition? Or is it a glimpse into the true multidimensionality of perception? In ancient traditions, this blending of senses was not considered abnormal. It was considered refined perception, a sign that the inner channels had begun to open. And in yogic texts, as well as mystical Christianity, Taoism, and Sufi writings, you'll find descriptions of spiritual visions arriving through blended senses. Because consciousness itself is not separated into sense organs. The organs filter, but the soul receives directly. 3. Why some thoughts come with color. Thought is not just content. It is frequency. And frequency often arrives through the visual field of the mind. Imagine you think about a person from your childhood. Suddenly, you feel a soft blue behind your eyes. You weren't trying to imagine color. It came with the memory. This is not imagination overlay. It is your subtle body registering the emotional hue of the memory. And color is the closest way your mind can represent that. Some thoughts are sharp and feel red. Some are nostalgic and appear as soft green. Some are traumatic and come with flashes of metallic gray. Your inner vision center is translating energy into visible impressions. These impressions are not artistic flourishes. They are vibrational signatures, like the prismatic colors created by white light through a crystal. The color is the echo of the frequency. 4. Why some thoughts come with taste. Taste is one of the deepest memory centers in the body. It is ancient, primal, connected directly to survival, but it's also subtle, because taste bypasses the rational mind. When a thought comes with a taste, it is often because the memory or idea is entangled with emotional residue. The body is remembering something it has never eaten, because the soul has tasted it in the language of experience. For example, a thought about betrayal may come with bitterness. A thought about reunion may arrive like honey. A moment as intuition might taste metallic, like the flavor before lightning. You are not hallucinating. You are registering energy in the same way a sommelier reads notes in wine. The taste is a sensory metaphor for a vibrational experience. But to you, it is more than metaphor. It is real. 5. The subtle body has its own senses. Beyond the physical senses, there are inner senses. These do not rely on eyes, ears, or tongue. They rely on direct knowing, which gets filtered through the symbols the brain understands: color, taste, temperature, direction, texture. All can arise as part of thought when the subtle body is awakened. This is why meditators sometimes see thought move like waves, or feel a concept as cold or sharp, or receive a mantra as a shape, not a sound. It is not madness. It is multidimensionality. 6. The language of energy must be felt, not understood. When you try to understand why a thought tastes like iron, or why the number 4 is always yellow to you, you miss the point. This is not something to analyze. It is something to feel, to trust, to follow, because the color or taste or sensation is not separate from the meaning. It is the meaning, delivered through the only channel that could carry it. Your inner world is not bound to logic. It is woven with symbols, and those symbols are not decoration. They are the soul's syntax. 7. You're not broken. You're awake. Too many people have been told they are imagining things, that their vivid impressions are made up, that their sensory overlays are errors. But what if they are gifts? Clues that your perception is opening, that your system is not dulling itself down to the lowest common denominator. If you see emotion as color, if you feel people's names as tastes, if you hear thought like music, you are not malfunctioning. You are remembering. You are sensitive not because you're weak, but because you're tuned to frequencies most ignore. 8. How to deepen the clarity of these impressions. If you wish to sharpen your ability to read the flavor or color of thought, don't try harder. Instead, sit in stillness after thought arises. Notice what accompanies the thought. What surrounds it? Allow sensation to arise without judgment. Let the color come, even if it makes no sense. Breathe into the impression. Notice if the taste changes with your breath or stays the same. Keep a log, not for analysis, but for clarity. Patterns will emerge over time, not for the mind, but for the soul. And most importantly, treat these impressions not as curiosities, but as sacred messages, coming from a deeper layer of being. 9. When the energetic becomes sensory. This is the heart of it. When a thought has enough emotional charge or enough spiritual depth, it crosses the threshold from concept into experience. And experience, in your system, arrives as sensation, color, taste, smell, texture. These are not additions, they are translations. Because your consciousness is not just thinking, it is feeling the world from the inside out. And sometimes what you feel tastes like copper, or smells like jasmine, or flashes violet before it speaks. Mystical reflection. You are not bound to the flat world of logic. You are not condemned to silence between the senses. You are a symphony of perception, an orchestra of internal light and sound and rhythm. Let the thought come with color. Let the feeling bloom with taste. Let your experience be full. You were never meant to perceive like the rest. You are meant to perceive deeply. Let it be strange. Let it be beautiful. Let it be yours. If this sacred transmission resonated with your experience, if you've long sensed more than you could explain, subscribe for future teachings like this, and consider becoming a member to support the offering of deeper truths. Next episode preview. In the next sacred transmission, we explore entering a dream while awake, conscious image flow. A poetic and practical dive into visionary perception, inner streaming, and how dreams move through daylight.